Hey everybody, it's the Review Revolution, back at you again with the next in the 3 1/4 inch Spin Master Tron Legacy figures. Tron Legacy by Disney Figures. Series 1. It's something where Clue Senrty, another army builder, I'm guessing, another one that you would have probably multiples of because of the kind of character he is. One of the only ones of the 3 1/4 inch size to never get a deluxe figure. Of course, Sam Flynn, Clue, Rinsler, and the Black Guard, they all got deluxes. Clue Senrty did not. And I guess when it comes down to if they only got to choose 4 of them to work with, yeah, I'd much rather get the Black Guard than the Senrty. Yeah, Kevin Flynn, might have to think that one over, but definitely would have had the Black Guard over the Senrty. So don't mind that. Shame is that this Senrty's articulation, this Senrty, as far as a figure itself goes, is probably going to come out a little bit better than the Black Guard for the deluxe version did. But again, we'll have to take a look. Of course, I just kind of rattled off everyone who's already in it. For the Clue Senrty, his write-up, the Senrtys make up Clue's general infantry and military police. They maintain the public order and carry out the law and will of Clue. Discover the world of Tron at www.disney.com/Tron. So, unlike Sark, who just had the gray dudes with the hoods and the gas masks, looks like Clue has both the Black Guard and his general Senrtys. Isn't he special? Of course, the package comes with Clue, or Clue Senrty, a base, yep, identity disc, yep, light staff, which looks like kind of an oversized baton, actually, yep, and the user instruction guide, which I think anyone who's done any reviews on these figures has made sure to point out that Spin Masters gives us a big old wad of paper for the instruction guide. So, yeah, it's in there. That's just to take a look at the packaging. Let's pop them open and have a look at Clue Senrty. Be right back. All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We've got the Senrty out of the pack, and yeah, I'm not surprised that they didn't bother with a deluxe on him yet. If the movie does well and Spin Master decides to do a Series 2, I don't doubt that the Senrty will make a deluxe appearance. But so far, yeah, I can understand why they passed him by. He is not all that interesting. I mean, there's a few things that make him stand out. I mean, first off, when you look at his helmet here, I mean, now this is really the head that should have been used for Sam. I mean, darken down the paint on the face a little bit, change the color on the side of the helmet, and this is really the head that should have been used on Sam. Because seeing Sam's whole face, especially in the same kind of cadaver, pale kind of color, yeah, that's just that's really disappointing. And it's disappointing seeing this color paint anywhere on these figures because of how light it is and how striking that color is to the rest of the body. It's one of the things where they definitely should have toned that down a little bit. But not bad. I mean, again, I like the design. The design on it's actually really cool. One other thing I like is that rather than having just kind of the standard body, he actually almost looks like he's wearing a jacket that comes down on his waist. So actually that's kind of a nice touch too. It gives a little difference in the design. I like how they went through and, of course, this is directly from the movie, but they did go through and actually make an effort to put some thought into the patterns that you see on these various programs. See, on the Senrty here, and I'll kind of give away his gimmick here just so you can see. When you press on his back, of course, it lights up, and the pattern on his chest, the way the pattern is made, it definitely seems to mimic that on Clue, on the chest. So you know that his allegiance is to Clue. So, again, that's something I do like. It's something more with the way they designed the character in the movie and less about the figure. But it's kind of interesting to see, and it'll be a lot of fun watching the movie on it. For the figure, it's something where the articulation, just to jump right in, the head so far is actually one of the better ones I've seen on the 3 1/4. It doesn't have quite the range that I would like, but there is some movement on the ball. Up, down, side to side, and again a little left and right. One of the biggest problems is I think that the neck is just a little thick on these, and the underside of the head, where the ball fits into, doesn't quite have enough. Doesn't have enough wiggle. There's not enough of a gap in there, so it has a lot of wiggle. So it's there. It's on a ball. It works, just not as well as it probably could. On the arms, now the Senrty actually is a little bit different. He has the hinge and pin, so the arm will come out and twist. No articulation at the bicep, though. Twist still at the elbow, a hinge, and then his wrist. Of course, not surprising, nothing in the waist. The legs do come up, and they come out only so far as the kind of the jacket piece on the side here will let it. So, he can get into a nice sitting position, for vehicles and so forth. And his legs will come out a bit, but it has more to do with the sculpt on the side and less to do with the joint, because the joint is the same one on all the figures for the 3 1/4, and they seem to be fine. There is a twist at the thigh, twist at the knee with a bend, twist at the foot, and the hinge as well. So the deluxe figure, or the 3 1/4 inch figures, do put the deluxe figures to shame on the articulation. On the paint, on the other hand, and I want to wait on this one, the paint on these deluxe, on these 3 1/4, I'm going to say deluxe a lot, on the 3 1/4 are really disappointing. I mean, this is probably a real good example of what I was talking about before. You can kind of see where here the paint has kind of run over. And it's not really because it was like an error in the paint. It's just that it looks like when the paint was put in, it just pooled. It just kind of pooled in the gap, and at some point it just ran over. It just spilled over because it had pooled in there. It just doesn't seem like Spin Master was quite ready for the kind of finely tuned paint job that was going to be necessary on these figures. It's lucky it's a Tron series because there's not a lot of color to be seen on it against the black. They would never have been able to accomplish, say, a Marvel Legend or Marvel Universe. I'm getting all my series wrong tonight. Marvel Universe or G.I. Joe figure. With paint applications like this, it just wouldn't have come out as well. For the Senrty, now I'm going to go ahead and mention it one more time. Probably a couple more times. He comes with this identity disc, and on the back where his button is, it almost looks as though the disc is already sculpted on. As a matter of fact, I think they should have actually painted this, and that way you could have put this aside and still kind of just pretended that he had his disc on him. Because otherwise, it's the exact same shape, has the same pattern sculpt on it. It's just this is already mounted on his back, where this one just kind of fits without doing anything. The Senrty also comes with his light staff, which you can kind of see here, has a baton core to it, basically. And as someone pointed out on a previous review, this would be, I guess, the closest comparison to the new movie to kind of that almost cattle prod kind of thing that Sark's troops had, with the little prism on the ends. And you can remember Clue 1, when he got caught and was being brought to the MCP, being kind of prodded along. Flynn, when he was being taken to the games, they actually had kind of the cattle prod. I think it's kind of cool to see something like it. I wish that it had a little more. I wish it was a little more interesting, like the original one was. These batons, I'm not all that interested in them. They're actually rather boring to me. Let's see if we can get him to hold it. Oop. And when he holds it with one hand, he lets go with the other. There we go. Okay. There we are. Batter up. The Senrty also comes with the standard base that all the 3 1/4 inch figures have. Kind of this nice high gloss plastic. Not very substantive, very thin plastic, but still the sculpt on it and the paint is really nice. As a matter of fact, I think they did the best paint job on the base for these figures. But when we stick him on, we do have Clue's Senrty. Not his elite guard, but just his regular beat cop. Certainly not one that I would be all that interested in, but I'm sure, we'll probably see quite a few of them, or at least a few of them in the movie. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.